Beautiful people. Today we get some important news to speak of. And yes, I took a medicine to help me with my allergies and asthma. It is pollen season in Florida, and I get very congested. And I got a complaint about my voice. So I hope my voice doesn't sound like it did yesterday. Anyhow, let's shoot on and get to the guts of the matter. Right in front of you, you see a list. And that list are some messages taken off from Lori's. It wasn't Lori's phone, but it was Tylee's phone that Lori had in her possession when she was in Hawaii. So when the police, sometime in 2020, apprehended Lori and Chad for a few minutes, talked to them, and impounded their rental car, they found not only birth certificates and other Social Security cards and other identifications and things like that were in the rental car, but they also found on Lori Tylee's cell phone. And I believe that this is where some, if not all, of these calls are established from that cell phone, Tylee's cell phone. So the first question is why is Lori carrying Tylee's cell phone? And how can we make it that she is part of the concealment of Tylee's demise? Tylee's own mother has concealed Tylee's and JJ's demise. And I think this little list, this tiny little list, it has 5 variables on it, but really only 4 pertinent, because one of the variables you will find is from Alex Cox. And I have said this before, you can't believe a word she says. And I think this will prove it. So there's really 4 pertinent items here that we're going to discuss. So they find the telephone of Tylee's on her mother. September 24th, this phone call we heard from was from Summer Shiflett and Tylee were supposedly texting on September 24th. This information did not come from Tylee's phone that I'm aware of. It came from Summer herself in a 48-hour interview somewhere, I think, around April or May of 2020. She told 48-hour news reporter that she was texting back and forth with Tylee. I'm not sure if Summer's birthday is on Tylee's birthday, but Tylee's birthday is September 24th. And Summer's is either on that date or around it. And they were texting back and forth to wish each other happy birthday. That's what Summer Shiflett announced on the 48-hour program. So is this text that Summer's talking about, or let's call them this session of texts, these series of texts, are they on Tylee's phone? This came from Summer's mouth, so we're not sure. Was she just making the September 24th up to try to say that Tylee was alive on September 24th? So the police will know that. The police will know whether Tylee's phone had received text messages from Summer on September 24th. back and forth, as Summer indicates. October 1 is questionable because Janice Cox says she talked to JJ. Why is it questionable? Because we all know JJ was deceased. So how is Janice Cox listening to JJ's little voice? Unless Lori did what she said she was going to do with Melanie Gibb, just pull some random kid and have them come to the phone. But I don't think so. I think Janice Cox did not have a conversation with JJ on October 1. And I think it was a bluff, as maybe the September 24th. Now, on October 10th, there's a Venmo payment from Tylee to Colby. And there's another one on October 16th, a Venmo payment from Tylee to Colby. Now, I'm not sure if when the police confiscated these phones, or this particular phone of Tylee's, because they confiscated more in the storage room in Rexburg, there were more phones that they took out of that storage room. But we're talking expressly about Tylee's phone right now. So these two Venmo payments, that's an app. So I'm not sure if an app goes through like a text. I really don't know anything about Venmo. So I'm not sure if these phones made a text, or did they go through the app? Let's call it like an app silent way, because I have no other term to think of it. So let's say those two Venmos are just on the phone itself. Somewhere those two Venmos payments show up on Tylee's phone. They show up on Colby's phone. He's the one that had reported them, that he received two Venmo payments from Tylee's account. So whose phone could that be used from? Who knows? The October 25th phone call, the very last one, was definitely from Tylee's phone. Tylee's friend had texted Tylee on the 25th. And Tylee texted back from her phone to her friend. And Tylee said in that text message on October 25th, which we all know Tylee was deceased, "Hi, miss you guys too. Love ya." Now, the phone message, when it came to the friend, she said, "Well, that doesn't sound like Tylee." So it was suspicious to her friend, because it just didn't sound how Tylee, her use of language or use of text messaging just didn't sound like her. So the one in all of this, the two primary ones, is the first one on September 24th, the last one on October 25th, because Tylee's friend did have that text. And then Summer says she was texting with Tylee. I know we can't believe Summer, but in this case, let's say Summer's telling the truth and that she was having a happy birthday text session with Tylee. So those are about a month apart. So if the law enforcement can find out where those texts were from on September 24th, which I would imagine would be Lori's apartment, if she was home at the time that Summer was supposedly texting with Tylee. And then the October 25, Where was Lori on October 25th? Because that phone call is very important, because wherever Lori was, or let's reverse it, wherever the phone was possibly where Lori was. Those two texts would tell the police, just like the FBI app did before. It told where Lori's brother was on September 9th and September 24th, when they believe he disposed of the bodies on the Daybell property. So on these two dates, September 24th, October 25th, the FBI should tell within 3 meters where those calls originated from. And I call them calls, but they're really texts. Where did those texts originate from? So when Summer was texting Tylee, it would have been probably Arizona, where Summer lives. And then wherever Lori was, I'm speculating that it was Lori texting back. Then on October 25th, Tylee's friend reaches out to Tylee. Tylee texts back, supposedly, where was that phone? And then where was the location of the phone on October 10th and October 16th, when those Venmo payments came in to Colby? If the app of Venmo does not tell location, the phone will tell location of the phone. So the FBI, with their specialized app that can tell within 3 meters of where the phone is located, would be able to tell the world where the phone was on all of those dates. The only date that we could not substantiate would be the October 1 date, because how can we substantiate that Janice was talking with JJ when we know it to be true that JJ was deceased by September 24th, 2019. So with that said, we are looking at some evidence that would tie in Lori, not Chad. Why? Because they found the phone with Lori. They did not find the phone with Chad. And how would Chad know Tylee's Venmo account? How would Chad know how to enter into her account? How would Chad be carrying this around? If he was carrying Tylee's phone around, then they're going to see it in Salem, Idaho. So it's going to ping at his house. So if he's in his, let's say he's in his kitchen, and he goes to his bathroom and he has Tylee's phone on him, then it's going to show the difference as far as the different rooms in the house. I don't believe that will come true. I believe that these phone calls or text messages, that the FBI has the ability to 100% identify the location of the phones within 3 meters, will tell a story of where Tylee's phone went from September 9th right on to the day that they apprehended it from Lori in Hawaii, when she was pulled over. And that same day that she was carrying the big money bag, she had a clear bag that had a lot of money in it. and I believe it was Nate Eaton saying, Lori, what are you doing with all that money? Like, hey, who carries around that big wad of cash? That's the day that the police ransacked her rental vehicle. They found the identifications of the children. They found more phones and a laptop in that Rexburg storage room that Lori had rented. So I'm wondering what those devices will show. But just in what we know, that Summer Shitlett, if true, claims she was texting with Tylee on her birthday. We will know the location of Tylee's phone because Tylee was supposedly reciprocating the happy birthday message to her aunt. The October 10th, the Venmo payments, the October 16th, who was sending those payments, we'll know the location because the FBI can tell where that phone was on those two dates, October 10 and 16. And the same when supposedly Tylee texted her friend on October 25th and told her friend that she misses her and that she loves her. And we all know she was deceased. So this will show that Lori was concealing the evidence. It will say that it will show that she was trying to alter evidence. It will show that she was trying to mislead the investigation. And it will also, the biggest one, show that she knew her kids were no longer here. Because why would she be acting as Tylee, doing all of these functions as Tylee, and then getting married on November 5th, and then running away to Hawaii on November 27th when they do a well child check. So, as I've said, beautiful people, this proves ugly. There's a lot of ugly out here. And over there's a picture of Charles and his kids, and Tylee's on the bottom. And it says, be nice. And that's because you never victimize a victim. Never. That is just pure ugly. I think we have found a way, from what I just explained, to nail Lori's nail in her coffin, and that coffin is her jail cell. Have a good day.